Let's be honest. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by the chaos of the world? Well, today, we're diving into the private journal of someone who felt that pressure more than pretty much anyone else, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. His personal notes, which we now call meditations, are this incredibly practical guide to building an unshakable inner peace. So, let's break down his timeless wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Okay. Just let that sink in for a second. This single idea is the key to everything we're about to talk about. What Aurelius is telling us is that true strength isn't about trying to control the world around us, because, let's face it, that's impossible. It's about mastering our reaction to it. So, how do we actually do that? Well, let's get into his framework.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to follow the path Aurelius laid out, building from the inside out. First up, we'll focus on mastering your inner world. Then, once we've got that foundation solid, we'll look at how to deal with the messy stuff, navigating the outer world. After that, we'll see how all this connects to your duty to others. And to wrap it all up, we're going to zoom all the way out and look at embracing the grand scheme.
All right, let's jump into Section 1, Mastering Your Inner World. I really love this subtitle, Building Your Inner Citadel. Why? Because that's exactly what it is. This is the absolute foundation of Stoicism. Aurelius was convinced that before you can handle anything life throws at you, you first have to build this unshakable fortress right inside your own mind.
He wrote, "Nothing is so conducive to greatness of mind as the ability to subject each element of our experience to methodical and truthful examination." So what in the world does that mean? He's saying our most powerful tools are just reason and self-reflection. This isn't about ignoring your emotions or anything like that. It's about looking at your feelings and thoughts with a clear, rational eye. It's about hitting pause and asking yourself, wait a minute, is what I'm feeling right now actually based on reality? Is this huge reaction of mine really justified?
And that whole rational examination thing is guided by 4 core virtues. Aurelius saw these as the pillars of a good life. And all kicks off with wisdom, right? That's the constant drive to learn and to see the world for what it really is. That wisdom then leads to justice, how we treat other people fairly and with integrity. But to act justly, you need courage. And not just physical bravery, but that mental grit to do the right thing, especially when it's hard. And the glue that holds it all together, self-control. That's the power to master our own impulses instead of letting them run the show.
Now, here's the thing that makes this so powerful. Aurelius wasn't writing this from some ivory tower like he had it all figured out. No way. This was a man in the trenches, reminding himself of these things every single day. And that is the absolute key. Stoicism isn't some finish line you cross. It's a practice. It's about the daily commitment to just being a little bit better, a little more rational than you were the day before. Okay, so now that we've got that foundation, let's move on to Section 2, Navigating the Outer World. This section is all about embracing what you cannot change. Because look, once you've started building that inner citadel, you're finally ready to face the storms of life, and they will come. The chaos, the unpredictability, all the stuff that's totally out of your hands. He tells himself, look at the past, empire succeeding empire, and from that, extrapolate the future. The same pattern will recur. This really gets at a core Stoic idea, impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. And fighting that fundamental truth, that's just a recipe for suffering. But if we can actually embrace that everything is always changing, we can let go of our desperate need to cling to things and just learn to roll with whatever comes next. And this brings us to one of the most practical, hands-on ideas in all of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. It's so simple, but man, it is not easy. On one side, you've got this very short list of things you can actually control. That's your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and your judgments. That's it. That's your kingdom. And on the other side, well, that's literally everything else. What other people think of you, the economy, your health in the long run, the weather, the past, the future. The secret to inner peace, the Stoics say, is to pour every single ounce of your energy into that first list and practice a radical, peaceful acceptance of the second. When you really start to focus on what you can control, it leads you to this pretty profound realization. The present moment is the only time you truly possess. I mean, think about it. The past is just a memory, and the future is a fantasy. All of your power, all your ability to choose and act with virtue, it only exists right now, in this very moment. By training our minds to live here, we can free ourselves from the weight of old regrets and all that pointless anxiety about a future we can't predict. Okay, so let's shift gears to Section 3, Your Duty to Others and Finding Purpose in Community.
Stoicism is definitely not about sitting alone in a room and just thinking deep thoughts. Remember, Aurelius was an emperor. He was constantly dealing with people. He believed that we are fundamentally social creatures and we're meant to work together for the common good. I absolutely love the realism of this quote. He says, humans have come into being for the sake of each other, so either teach them or learn to bear them. Our first duty is to our shared humanity. We should try to help people, to teach them. But when that doesn't work, when people are just frustrating or difficult, our duty then shifts. It becomes about learning to bear with them, with patience and understanding, because hey, they're part of this messy human family too. So how do we actually practice this idea of shared humanity? Well, it's about consciously trying to practice empathy, remembering that everyone's fighting some kind of battle you probably know nothing about. It's about building stronger relationships by trying to understand, not just to be understood. It means overcoming our own biases, looking for common ground instead of focusing on what divides us. And at the end of the day, it's about doing what is right, not what is popular. Your inner virtue doesn't mean much if it doesn't show up in how you treat other people.
And that leads to this incredibly simple but really profound principle. Do what is right. Not for recognition. You act with justice and kindness because it is the right thing to do. The reward isn't getting a pat on the back or some award. The reward is the action itself. It's the quiet knowledge that you lived up to your own principles.
So we've gone from our inner world to how we interact with our community. And now, for the final piece of this puzzle, we are going to zoom out, like way, way out. This is Section 4, Embracing the Grand Scheme. Aurelius challenges us to find perspective by seeing our tiny lives, not just in the context of our society, but in the context of the entire cosmos. He asks us to just consider this question: how trivial the things we want so passionately are. Seriously, think about that. That argument you had yesterday, that work project you're so stressed about, that thing you really, really want to buy. If you view it from the perspective of 1,000 years from now, or from the scale of the Milky Way galaxy, how much does it really matter? This is the practice of cosmic awareness. Contemplate the vastness of the universe and the brevity of your life. Now, this isn't meant to make us feel insignificant or depressed. Just the opposite. It's meant to liberate us. It helps us let go of all those petty concerns, quiet our ego, and focus our very limited time and energy on what actually matters, living a life of purpose and virtue. Then there's this powerful metaphor for death. He writes, "You have embarked, you have made the voyage, you have come to shore, get out." He doesn't see death as this terrifying thing to be avoided at all costs. He sees it as the natural, final part of life's journey. And by accepting our own mortality, by understanding that, yeah, this voyage will end, we're empowered to live more fully, more bravely, and with more urgency right now. And that brings us right back around to the ultimate takeaway from meditations. Inner peace is a choice. It's a skill you can practice every single day. Strength, purpose, and tranquility, they aren't things you're going to find out there in the world. They're not hiding in your job or your bank account or in what other people think about you. They are things you build right here inside your own mind, using the tools of reason, virtue, and perspective. You know, the craziest part is Marcus Aurelius never meant for anyone to read this. This was his private journal. He was just writing notes to himself, trying to be a better person. The fact that these words still hit so hard 2,000 years later just shows how timeless that struggle is. If you want to dive deeper into his wisdom, and I can't recommend it enough, we've put a link to the book in the description for you. Thanks for spending some time with us.